Sunday, July 27th, 2025. I am in Norwich, Connecticut right now. And I'm about to turn left onto West Town Street. I'm going to let me pull into the bowling alley. Let's get a look at this is before I get this drive underway here. They're tearing the Grange down. They demolished it 2 days ago, and now they're removing the last vestiges of the Grange. Let me get some of this on video. This is history. This is a historic building that was there since the 1800s. It is now it's gone. The building is gone, but they are now taking every last remnant of that building and erasing it from the planet forever. In my humble opinion, that is very unfortunate. As I jump back onto West Town Street. You know, I'm actually going to pull into this gas station, this Shell, for a second. Believe me, I planned on doing something else, and I do plan on doing something else. But let me get some more footage of this from a different angle. Let's just linger on that for a second. It's a travesty. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's too late. It's gone. Anyways, I'm going to do a drive around Norwich, Connecticut today. It's kind of a paradoxical situation we got here. The conditions are perfect for recording video. It's very overcast. I mean, for my taste, those are the best conditions. I've mentioned that before because there's no shadows, even lighting. It's just, for my personal taste, is perfect. The paradox is it could rain or potentially drizzle, which could, bring this video to an abrupt end. I did a video a couple of days ago which was a little disjointed and unfocused, which is fine. It was just a random drive. But I did get caught in a torrential downpour, but I was lucky enough to get my camera off the vehicle before it was destroyed. I mean, these cameras are waterproof. You can dive with them. But I have the compartment, the door latch taken off, removed, so I can use an external battery, so I can do, multi-hour videos if I have to. I don't have to worry about the battery ever running out. So let me pull up here into this Norwich Town nursing home just very briefly. I'm just going to, again, this is kind of a, I just want to cover Norwich. It's middle of summer 2025, although it is in the 70s today. It's a abnormally cool day. It's been very hot lately. But anyways, there's kind of a look at the, I'm not sure if it's called the Norwich Town Nursing Home anymore. It might have a different, let me see if I can catch the name of this. I mean, nursing, they don't like using the term nursing home. Norwich Town Rehabilitation and Care Center. So the term nursing home, although still used culturally, but the specific name is no longer in use. Let's take a quick. I'm going to be doing these little pull off here and there all day. If I do too much of this, it'll be a very strange video. Samuel Huntington elementary school, right there. I took some extremely high-resolution pictures of this building recently. Was it recent? Wasn't that? I mean, within the last year. Let's put it that way. When I say extremely high resolution, I mean I took I had a tripod, and as I get back onto West Town Street here momentarily. But these pictures that I took, and I'm going to pull into Sacred Heart Church very briefly. I'm not going to be able to keep up this pace of turning into everything. If I did Norwich, the entire Norwich drive like that today, this would be a 17-hour drive. Let's see if we can get this Sacred Heart Church in here, for at least from this angle. Right there, I think we can catch the whole thing. It's kind of a nice, very nice church. But those super high resolution pictures, you take a tripod, you take the camera, you mount it vertically, full frame camera. I use a 55 millimeter lens, and I take several, maybe 7 pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, overlap them and then combine them together into this gigantic billboard size. I mean, these pictures they're absolutely insane quality as far as the resolution is concerned. And I also have some of the Grange. I have pictures of a lot of buildings like that. Okay, I'm getting some drizzle now. I'm just going to keep going and hope that it doesn't. I mean, it's extremely mild, but I hope it doesn't mar the video, the lens in any way. If it increases in intensity, I'm going to have to pull off the side of the road and wait it out. But fingers crossed, hopefully things will work out. I'm on Town Street right now. McDonald's and a little business area down here. But I'm just going to drive around. I can't describe every single thing. I've done that in a lot of videos. I try, but it's impossible. But I'll pull in here and there at some things that people might be interested in. I've done, hundreds of these videos. This is United Community Family Services Healthcare, Edward and Mary Lord Family Health Center at UCFS Healthcare, right there, that building. That building's been many things over the years. There's another building right there in front of us with banks and hairstylists and blood work labs and whatever. Chelsea Bank across the street. I'm just going to, I'm just driving around, not 100% sure what I'm going to cover. It's going to be Norwich. That I know, as the drizzle, I believe, has stopped at the moment. But that could, that is a situation that can crop up at any second. Here is Stop and Shop, and used to be Caldors down there, Grants many years ago. And many, many stores. It was a mall that you could walk inside. Now it is no longer a mall that you can walk indoors. It's just an outside. You can only enter each store individually from outside, as opposed to walking in a mall like the Crystal Mall where you're covered. The weather is, you're protected from the weather in the Crystal Mall. Norwich used to be a small version of the Crystal Mall. Malls went out of fashion and basically died on a national level. And we find now that companies tend to build these types of structures where each store is connected, yet you have to enter them from the outside individually. let's see now. That was just a brief glance at that mall. Or, I mean, it's Commons, Norwich Town Commons. There's a package store. There's Goodyear Tire. There's Laurie's Deli and Bake Shop. There's a lot of really cool little stores around here. There's actually a gun and pawn shop over there as well. Leffingwell House is up here on the right. You know, let me pull in here briefly. There it is, right to the right, that red Leffingwell House Museum. I'm just going to turn around here. This is circa 1675, so that's going back a couple of years. Here's a brief look at the grounds. I'm in a car, so I can't... I'd like to fine-tune my compositions, my video compositions here as best as I possibly can. I'm going to try to do that as I get directly right there. Let me get as close as I can without driving on the grass. So there's Leffingwell House Museum. Right there. Let's linger for a second. Okay. If you want to take a look at that, they have tours that they give, and people tell you the history of that building, among many other things. But I'm just looking at the grounds, and I believe they own that house to the right there, if I'm not mistaken. Now I got to try to slip out of here. All right, there's no traffic. It's Sunday. It's one good thing. The traffic is a little light right now, and I'll take it. But I'm going to try to grab as much footage as I can, you know, with the time constraints that I have, as I take a ride into Bacchus Hospital, Hartford Healthcare Cancer Institute. Just reading the signs. There it is, right in front of us, Bacchus Hospital. There's a trauma center, emergency department, a medical office building, a center for mental health, same-day surgery, shipping, receiving, cancer institute. A lot of stuff. The Mary Ellen Ross Child Care Center to the right. It is at 330 Washington Street, if anybody wants to know the address of Bacchus Hospital. And they have a helicopter that operates out of here, Lifestar. And that's coming up right there, Lifestar, Hartford Hospital, heliport. Just to the right. And they bring people to Hartford, maybe Yale at times, I don't know. I mean, they're affiliated with Hartford Hospital, so I'm going to assume that the vast majority of helicopter traffic between Bacchus and the exterior world would be to Hartford Hospital. All right, we're working our way out of the campus of Bacchus Hospital. There's Norwich Family Cosmetic Dentistry right in front of us. There's all kind of doctors. All those buildings that you see right in front of us, those houses over there, doctors' offices and dentists and things of that nature. They're working on the building directly in front of us. Used to be a florist. It was recently purchased, I believe, and it is now being rehabilitated. As we jump off of Lafayette Street onto Washington Street. Lee Memorial Church to my right back there. I have a video on that on my YouTube channel. They are closing down or leaving the building, and I don't know if they're relocating, but they can no longer apparently sustain the, what it takes to operate a church with regards to financial matters like heating, electric bill. I don't know the details specifically, but that church is shutting down, like many, many other churches in Norwich and the surrounding area. As I wait for the red light to turn green, Chelsea Parade directly in front of us. They had the Rose Arts Festival this year, and that's, I believe that was late June. I went to part of that, and it was, they had a tremendous, a lot of really talented bands performing live. Here's NFA, just a quick cruise around this section of NFA. Football field over there. Straight ahead, you can see the back of the scoreboard. I mean, that is a world-class field and track, and yeah, this high school's like it's like an Ivy League. You can see Slater Tower in the background. It's like an Ivy League college, a smaller scale, obviously, but it has that Ivy League feel. It gives off an Ivy League vibe. If you've ever walked the campus, you know what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, Sunday's kind of a nice day to come down and walk around the NFA campus and look at the beautiful architecture. I kind of don't want to pass up this building right here. It's part of NFA. I don't know. I would assume administrative. Well, it says Levanto Alumni House, so that if that rings a bell with anybody. We can get a look if I pull my car down here a little bit. There's monuments to veterans of foreign wars and some beautiful homes in the distance. And again, Chelsea Parade to the right. I think I'll just shoot straight down to the city. Park Congregational Church has got a new roof, and that's on the left. As I see a little bit more drizzle coming down, which I have to monitor very closely. Normally I like to do these videos in one take, but if it gets too heavy with the drizzle, I'm going to have to pull over. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull over here. Here's another church that is shutting down right there. St. Mark Lutheran Church. Beautiful, very interesting architecture. But I'm going to take a breather for a second here and try to assess my drizzle situation. As a matter of fact, if I have the potential of keeping this a one-take video, I'm trying to look out the window to see if it's stopped. Now it's drizzling a little bit. I'm looking around for cover. Let me see if I can. I was trying to find a tree or something I could get under, but I don't see any around here. Let me take a right. I don't want to get too much drizzle on that lens. I mean, drizzle's not going to kill the camera Rain, heavy rain will, but drizzle will be, it'll potentially kind of mar the, or distort the video quality, which I want to avoid at all costs. Let me pull over here in front of St. Patrick's Church for a second. And yeah, I'm going to take, I have a little cloth here I think I can use for wiping off the lens. So you're going to see a little, you're going to see some I don't know if I should do it now or wait a little bit. Well, let me wipe it off. If I can pull off a one-take video, which is what I usually do, in other words, I don't cut anything, I'll do it. If I can't, I just simply will not do it. I'll make the cuts, but I don't know about that drizzle. If it negatively impacts the video too much, that will be a problem. But we're going to find out. All right. So it looks like the drizzle stopped. So if this is an on and off situation, my apologies. I will occasionally step out of the vehicle as I go down Union Street, heading for Down City, Norwich, Connecticut. But if we do get the occasional interruption, my apologies in advance. Listella restaurant right there. That's the former Otis Library. You got to go way back, but there it is. Listella, established 2001. Everybody loves Listella. It's a kind of a Norwich treasure. As we get the blinking red lights. And we are, down city. I mean, there's no getting around it. I'll try to cover as much as I can. Done it before, but the weather conditions, for my taste, are fantastic. Except for that paradoxical drizzle situation. If things were just like this, with no drizzle, no tiny spitting of rain, then I would have perfect conditions. I don't know. All of a sudden, there's a lot of traffic in Norwich. Interesting. Let this gentleman go by. As I thread the needle on Main Street in Norwich, Connecticut. And we have a red light, and we'll just wait that out a little bit. We'll just kind of chill out here for a second. No more drizzle at the moment. This is a situation that can kind of rear its ugly head at any moment. Rock the Docks. I see a sign down there, 2025 Rock the Docks Summer Concert Series in Norwich. It's fantastic. They made a slight change this year in the Rock the Docks, kind of format as far as the visuals are concerned. They moved the stage, and they did a survey recently, and people were really happy with the change. The vast majority of people were very happy with the change. I'm going to briefly pull into Howard T. Brown Memorial Park. This is kind of where I ended my video yesterday. Wow. Let's get a shot of these Canadian geese and ducks feeding on, I don't know, grain or something. The general public is not allowed to feed the birds down here. There's very, very distinct signs stating that. There's that gazebo right there to the right. And again, light traffic, so I'm going to get back into the city. As we kind of gaze at the beautiful architecture, the first one has, I believe, Ionic columns. The first building in front of us. Well, there's a mixture. The ones on the bottom, I believe, are Doric, and the ones above, I believe, are Ionic. Next building doesn't have any columns. Third building down is a former bank, and that has Corinthian columns. The building beyond that is the Shannon building. I believe that burned down in 1903 or 1909, early 1900s, and it was rebuilt, and it's standing today. Beyond that, the beautiful window treatments, if you can see it, is the Mohegan Hotel. Now, I am on Chelsea Harbor Drive right now, and I just got a green light. So yeah, the brick building in front of us, that's the Mohegan Hotel. Abraham Lincoln, before he was president, stayed there. He ran for president at that period in time. And I'm about to hit the roundabout, or the rotary, as some people call it. I'm on the rotary right now. Whenever I hit the rotary, I always do a full 100% circle around this thing, regardless of what the situation is. I just do it. It's shall we say, custom. Okay, I'm taking the unusual move of driving behind the Otis Library and other buildings, but there's a big train trestle right there that goes over a big river. Let's get a look at some of the buildings back here. If I'm going to do Norwich, all right, so there's some beautiful old vintage buildings right there. Let me back up a little more, make sure I'm not backing into anything. There's that one right straight ahead's the Disco building. DISCO. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's not, it's in the top 10 of my favorite Norwich buildings. It's one of them. It's not number one, but it's That's the Otis Library to the right there. We're behind the Otis Library. There's another building directly in front of me I always like. Liquor World is in there. Let me jump back out onto Main Street. Otis Library to my right. Chelsea Groton Bank. I believe former Chelsea Groton Bank. I don't believe they occupy that building anymore. The city of Norwich purchased it recently. Straight ahead is the former YMCA. They're working on that building, and they're going to turn it into something really nice. Offices, maybe restaurant, brewery, whatever, different ideas, but they're really starting to come along with the, some of the masonry and brickwork they're doing. Let me take a left up on a Park Street. Let's get up the road a little bit here. I'm going to pull in here. I haven't done this. I want to get a look at the back of the... Let me see if I can pull over a little bit. Point this... The building to the right, the darker brick, is behind the post office, and directly in front of us is the former Elks Club. It is now the Callista Hotel. That's been completely rehabilitated. I saw pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous inside. So I'm back out on Park Street. As I drive around different areas in Norwich, Connecticut, St. Joseph Church. I have a full video on St. Joseph Church, but let me capture that right there. Let me lock in on that. Just for a second, if you want to freeze the frame, Roman Catholic, St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Church. Again, I have a full video on that where I walk around and show everything. There's bells and all kind of cool stuff going off. I'm going to go up the hill, and I want to turn around just so I can come down. And get a kind of a wider view. I got to find a place to turn around up here. That could be tricky. This is kind of a windy, snaky road. Let me see if I can pull this off. I'm on East Cliff Street right now, but I want to turn around. So I got to keep my eyes open. But I want to catch that wider view behind that church if I can swing it. It's kind of a heavily populated neighborhood. It's a lot of houses back there on East Cliff. And all right, so here we go. We get a good view. I like to get the... Somebody's working on that center garden area. But anyways, I'm pointing straight down. It's a very steep hill. Hopefully I can grab some of the visuals of a wide lens, which I happen to have on this camera. All right. I'm probably not supposed to go up here. This is private property, but let's just get a look at that old... I would assume it has something to do with the church. There seems to be monuments, religious monuments up here, so I don't know if the church owns that property, but and there's a view behind St. Joseph Roman Catholic Church right there. Let's get closer. Right there. All right. Let's move on. Let's venture forth on this exploration of parts of Norwich, Connecticut. I'm taking a left down Hobart Avenue. I'm going to jump onto Hawthorne Street when I take this left. Right here, there's a kind of an important Gagney Funeral Home. Let's get that from this angle. Another landmark in Norwich. Beautiful building. A lot of beautiful homes in this area. I'm actually going the wrong way down a one-way little strip there. That was a mistake. I just wanted to get a better view if I could. Okay, to the right is the former YMCA. I'm going to have to come down here and do another on-the-ground video of that YMCA building, because right there, because the folks are starting to make progress. I can see, a lot of the brickwork is looking really good. I mean, they have a long way to go. It's going to take a while. It's a big project. Back on Main Street in Norwich, heading in a different direction. I see a couple of spots of drizzle. Nothing that's going to make anything terrible, but if it increases in intensity, I'm going to have to pull over again and wipe off that lens. One good thing about driving, the wind against the lens has a tendency to dry off fluid from the lens cover relatively rapidly. Okay, so let me yield. There's nobody coming. I don't have to do any heavy yielding there. The building on the right, I think somebody's restoring that. I always enjoyed that building too. That's Schwinn. I bought a Schwinn bike, or my parents did when I was a kid, out of that building back there. Let me turn down Willow Street. Get between these two large former factory buildings. Art Space Apartments on my left and an abandoned factory on my right. I mean, I have multiple... Wow, there's something going on. I don't know if there's a play or... At the Chestnut Street Playhouse? Oh, wow. School of Rock is playing. That would be a cool show to see. at that beautiful little theater. And you have Norwich's, let me pull over a little bit. You have Norwich's murals. There's a lot of those. I'm not going to go back through the city again as I cover more territory in Norwich. I have no idea as to where I'm going to end up on this drive. Which is either a very, very good thing or a very, very bad thing. But I'm covering territory. I'm absorbing massive amounts of video footage to add to my video library on my YouTube channel. Future historians, or just anybody with any interest in what things look like in 2025 in Norwich, Connecticut, I have got you covered. I'm going to try to let this gentleman go, but he's waving me on. I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on Boswell Avenue right now. I have full coverage of Boswell Avenue on the ground, multiple videos, driving, walking around, stuff with music in the background, me talking, tons of video featuring Boswell Avenue. It's an important street in Norwich. There's a lot of work being done on buildings around here, apartment houses and things like that. I'm going to take a left, Roth Street. There's a barber shop up there, and there used to be a really good video store in there, but the video stores are no longer necessary. As I get on to Broad Street, let me take a look, see if I'm going to get on Lake Street or not. Sometimes the street is, it's so narrow that at times it's difficult due to Lake Street being so narrow. Let me go up Treadway Avenue. It's a one-way street. See how narrow this is right here, Treadway. If there's a car, temporarily, not necessarily parked on Lake Street or this terrace right here, I am blocked. I can't budge. So I sometimes shy away. I'll glance down, and if there's a car, somebody pulls over to talk to a friend or whatever. Now there's a cool garage. You pull in there, the house is way up on the hill. I guess you walk underground, and that's really interesting. Let me take a right onto Warren Street here. A lot of big hills. Big hills, windy roads and sharp turns. Look at that incredible house on the left. See now, I would love to know the history of that building. When was it built? Who had it built? Just a lot of questions. Whoa, a little bit more drizzle. kicking up. That could be a problem. This is what we were worried about. It seems to be increasing in intensity. So I'm going to pull up a little bit. Maybe I'll park at the Rose Garden or not. There's somebody there. Okay, I'm going to cross Rockwell Street here. And yeah, this is... It's kind of... I'm going to guess that you're seeing some of the residue on the lens right now, which I got to wipe off. I want to keep that one cut if I can do it. Maybe I can get some tree cover right here. I'm going to walk out for a second and clean that lens off. Hopefully that does it. I'm going to pull up a little bit and get right under some big trees here. Like right here. And I'm just going to plant this thing for a couple of minutes. And I don't know, maybe I'll cut this out. Again, I prefer not to slice these driving videos up. But if this drizzle's going to be, you know, a situation it's going to be for an extended period of time, then let me run my windshield wiper. I mean, I'm kind of at the entrance of Mohegan Park, and I don't see any drizzle, but I am under a very dense oak tree, a massive. You can see it to the right. I mean, that is a huge. Let me look up at those leaves. Yeah, it's an oak tree. All right, I'm not seeing any drizzle. And I don't want to waste too much time just sitting around. You know what's interesting? Let me point this thing. There's a big, huge water tower right there. I believe it's a water tower. All right. So we're in the Mohegan Park, you know, kind of foresty, a lot of pine trees and stuff around here. I've done Mohegan Park. I've done videos of Mohegan Park multiple times. All you got to do is go to my channel and just search. Put Mohegan Park in there, run a search, and you're going to be flabbergasted by how much Mohegan Park coverage I got. If that's what you're looking for, it's there. On the ground, driving around at times. Sometimes I just have static video with ambient sound. Sometimes I walk and talk video. But this is one of the gemstones. Norwich has several real, you know, impressive gemstones as part of this, the overall scape of the city of Norwich. Mohegan Park is one of them. Another one is Norwich Free Academy. That's a gem. That's a gemstone. Very windy, kind of a dark road. I mean, it's 2:17 p.m., but very dark. I mean, this camera will adjust for exposure, so it won't look that dark. But to the naked eye, it's, for the middle of the day in July, there's so much tree cover that it's worth taking a ride through if you haven't done it. It's very relaxing up here. This is actually called Wilderness Road. This drive is going to be a very sprawling overview of parts of Norwich that I just happen to, if I turn the steering wheel right, that I'm going to be covering this massive swath of, let's say, the west side. I haven't touched the west side yet. If I take a left, we're going to cover the east side. It's just, this is a situation where I do not have an agenda or a planned road map or goal that I am following. I'm simply driving around, recording video footage in Norwich, Connecticut, with Spalding Pond on my right, and there's people fishing down there right now. But let's cover some more territory. I'm not seeing any drizzle, but again, this is a heavily, heavily wooded area. I mean, ferns. It's beautiful down here. If you like nature and you haven't been to Mohegan Park in Norwich, you're making a big mistake. As we take a nice relaxing drive through the pine forest. There's disc golf up here if you enjoy that sport. There is swimming, there's hiking trails. Let me see if there's anybody swimming out there right now. It's kind of chilly today, but there's a beach, hiking trails. A lot to do. Barbecue. You name it, they got it at Mohegan Park. I see some cars parked over there to my right. Those folks are probably enjoying some disc golf today. There's a big pavilion to my left. There's a baseball field to my right. I mean, everything. Mohegan Park is, again, when I say gemstone, we're talking diamond, fine cut quality diamond category. I'm on Mohegan Park Road right now. Turn left up here. I just want to see what this is. Well, no trespassing. Buena Vista a Casa de Restaurant. It's hard to pronounce. It appears to be a church. There's a big cross up there, so unfortunately there's no trespassing. I can't get up there. I'm going to have to turn around, make a tight turn here. Let me see. It appears to be in Spanish. I really can't read that. Oracion Betel. Buena Vista a Casa de Restauración Betel. If I'm pronouncing that right, I do not know what it means, but considering there's a cross on the center of the building up there, large cross, I'm going to have to assume that's a church. So back onto Mohegan Park Road. At this very moment, there is no drizzle coming down from the sky, which is good news. I like to get these drives in on a Sunday if I can, because there is, the tendency, not always, but a tendency to be less traffic. We are off Mohegan Park Road, and we are now on Hunters Road. Nice barn over there to the right. Big hill. Hunters Road is a very large hill. At least half of it, and then it kind of levels off. I want to take a ride into Oakland Heights. It's a mobile home park. I believe it could be 55 and older. I'm not positive. Let me see if a sign. Welcome to Oakland Heights. Yeah, 55 plus community. So these are really beautiful high-end mobile homes. Wow. To the right, I mean, I know this is a very wide lens, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deer, right? Let me see if I can get over here. I mean, this is a lens very wide. So 1, 2, 3, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's a little fawn and the other deer straight ahead are grazing out in that meadow, which is probably partially owned by. I'm going to swing over. I'm taking a risk because there's a lot of people that live here that could be driving. I don't know if you can glance at that. It's probably not worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 beautiful deer. Technically, I'm on Oakland Drive right now. So yeah, Oakland Heights, very large. I don't know how many mobile homes are here. I don't know the number, but it's significant. It's a beautifully maintained area. And as I said, 55 and older. I mean, 55 to me is kind of on the young side. But I've known a few people that have lived here, and they've been very happy living in this little community right here. You know, they have central air conditioning and, you know, modern heat pumps and things like that. So they're comfortable, you know, nice kitchens. Really a cool place to live. Take a ride down Lenox Avenue. I'll just slice through I mean, they're all in immaculate condition. They must have, you know, standards or certain parameters that everybody has to follow, because every single one of these is pristine. As I see a few more droplets fall from the sky. All right, I'm going to try a maneuver here to see if I can line myself up better to get a straight shot of those deer. Hopefully it doesn't rain, because I do see an increasing number of droplets. Let's just hope one of them didn't go on that lens. If it did, you're seeing the distortion right now. My apologies for that, but I have absolutely no control over it. But there's a decent view of the park. Oakland Heights Mobile Home Park. All right, so this road didn't come out where I thought it was going to come out. Well, kind of, but not close enough to get a better look at those deer. Let me take a glance over there. Yeah, they're out there. All right, so if I go up this road, turn around, and then point down. Actually, this isn't a very long road. Oh, I'm just going to have to turn around right here. We'll get a close-up look at one of the mobile homes. It's a Marlet. I do have some trees kind of in the way of these for the best view of the deer. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off. I would have to do something really crazy, like go right across the street. And I mean, there's no traffic on either side. There's a quick glance if you can grab it. But it's just not in the cards right now to get a better view than that. That's the best I could do. So we're going to get out of Oakland Heights Mobile Home Park, and we're going to get back onto on this road, which is Hunter's Road. We'll work our way down the end of it. I mean, I am on the cusp of... maybe I don't have to pull over. There's some droplets coming down. I'm gonna roll the dice and just hope that the odds are in my favor and that none of those raindrops struck the lens. As we work our way down to the very end of Hunter's Road. More mobile homes on the left. There's a new Shell gas station to the right. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that sign says now open. Beautiful. La Stella's right in front of us. It's a bakery and little restaurant. Very good reputation. People love La Stella. And they're down in the city, as I pointed out earlier in this video, in that old Otis Library building. And there's a little market in there. And this light has a tendency to be a little long, and there is no turn on red at this particular this particular light right here. As you can see, there is a slight breeze. Well, I would say moderate breeze today. There's a moderate breeze. Nippy's Gulf Range over there. Wow, now it's real dark up ahead. I mean, the clouds are thick. I mean, it really feels like rain. Again, if anything heavy hits, I'll have to abruptly shut this thing down. But I really would like to get more footage. I kind of want to work my way over to the west side of Norwich. I'm entering the Greenville section right now. Okay, we're on Boswell Avenue. I just entered Greenville. As I'm going to attempt to get over to the west side. And there's a little business district right in here. Former Wonder Bar. Somebody's working on that building, fixing things up. Okay, I did part of Boswell. Let me go through the heart of Greenville, Central Avenue. So I'll go left. This isn't comprehensive, but this is me covering a lot of Norwich in one video. I mean, if you're interested in specific areas in Norwich with a more intense coverage of that particular section, for example, Norwich Town, the east side, the west side, Greenville, Taffield, plug it into my YouTube channel, and you're going to find comprehensive coverage of all that stuff. I mean, sometimes people fall upon these videos and they send me emails or messages or contact me through my website or even in a comment on YouTube, and they'll say, I can't believe it. You drove by my childhood home. I've never seen anything so great. I haven't been there in 40 years, and on and on. Then I inform the person I have hundreds of videos as I drive down Central Avenue in the Greenville section of Norwich. I have hundreds of videos, and then they message me back telling me it's like they fell upon a treasure trove and how happy they are about it. I'm going to have to pull over here momentarily and do another lens cleaning maneuver. But let me roll down Central Avenue a little bit further. I mean, this, it's hit or miss with this rain or drizzle. But I really do want to keep this, actually, let me get up to Hickory Street here for a second. I love that house right there in front of us. I have comprehensive coverage of Hickory Street, where I walk up and down the entire thing. That's what I'm saying. For people that, kind of fall upon these videos like by random, they don't know about my channel, and they randomly just happen to see one. It comes up in their feed or whatever. Type in specific areas, and you'll be you'll probably be amazed. All right, I'm going to work my way under a tree for cover. A thick cover right here, kind of dark. And for your viewing pleasure, let me point this thing over towards Hickory Street, and there's a nice ancient cemetery in the background as I go outside here for a moment and wipe off that lens and hope that the drizzle passes again. All right, it's not windy, so that's good. And just wiping the lens off right now. Get that done as best as humanly possible. There it is, crystal clear. And let me jump back into the car here. All right, now. Let me run this windshield wiper and see what we got. Again, I'm under the cover of a pretty dense tree cover, so I don't see any drizzle, but it is brightening a little bit from my left to right, so that's encouraging. You know what I should do while I'm here? I don't see any drizzle, but again, I'm under a tree, so this could be a false... well, let me see here. I want to take just a brief cruise. It's right up the road. Thanks for bearing with me on this, folks, all for my one take video. Yeah, see, some of the drizzle's starting to come back down. The tree cover was giving me a false sense of security. But it doesn't seem too bad. It's there, though. I don't want to... I'm going to take a ride up to Greenville Elementary School. I mean, it's being constructed. Its construction began, I don't know, a month or maybe several weeks ago. Let's put it that way. And I can't get up to I can just go right up to the fence. I can't get right onto the grounds of the new construction project, but I'm glad to be able to get this kind of view right here. They're doing some heavy duty work, downs construction. I mean, they're really tearing the landscape to shreds, so it's going to be a bigger school than the former one that was torn down. And let me see. Okay, we still got some drizzle. Hopefully, if it subsides, I get it made. And I'm going to try to ride this thing out. Again, thanks for hanging with me. You can fast forward through these, these gaps. I don't know. Is this a four-way stop? I guess it is. Okay. All right. So now I'm on Golden Street. Divine Providence Church to my right. Right there. Divine Providence Church. Taste of Poland. I think they might be having a little festival or something. Okay, the drizzle's picking up again. So we're in a little quandary here. What do we do? Do we keep driving and hope that it doesn't ruin the video? Or do we keep pulling over and cleaning things off? I'm going to drive a little bit, keep my fingers crossed. If the video is less than perfect for a stretch here, then that's unfortunate. I'm on North Main Street right now, by the way. Yeah, I'm actually using my windshield wipers a little bit going to have to clean. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do another cleaning session. I'll be curious to see how the video looks during the drizzling phase. Wow, they're putting a new roof on. That part of that construction I mentioned earlier, the YMCA, I can see a new roof. It's not, the new roof is not completed, but it's protected from rain. They haven't shingled it yet. I'm sure they'll be able to shingle that real quick. All right, the drizzle factor is diminishing a little bit. I'm going to go over the viaduct. All right, let me pull into this big, giant parking lot so I can clean this lens off. As a matter of fact, let's get a look at the... There's the back of some of the construction right there, right straight ahead of the YMCA building. Right there. And you can see stuff going on. Let me step out of the car again. And let's clean this lens off. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the rain. And there's no cover. I'm not under a tree or anything this time. This is just straight up drizzle. And it seems to be picking up in intensity, so I could either wait. I have a couple of choices. I can wait it out here until it stops and then double check the lens to keep my one cut video consistency going, or I can drive and let the lens get wet, as some people do when they're in certain situations. And there was a gentleman driving cross country on a motorcycle, and he encountered a lot of rain, and he had a little camera like mine on his motorcycle. He had a couple of cameras. And they got absolutely drenched, but he didn't care. He just let it ride. He let it rip because he was driving cross country and he couldn't pull over every, 5-10 minutes to clean things off. And he uploaded the video and it looked great. I mean, plenty of the video was not rained upon. As I monitor for diminishing drizzle. As we look at the back of the former YMCA building now under a major construction project. It's still drizzling. It's diminished a little bit, but once I start driving, it could accumulate on the lens and it could be a problem. This is one thing about this video for sure. The word drizzle or drizzling has been used the most of any video I've ever done, and probably I would hazard a guess that it's the time I would say pretty much guaranteed. I have never used the term drizzle or drizzling more on any particular day in my entire life. So that's, we have that. Somebody hands you a lemon, make lemonade. All right, I got to get back out on the viaduct right now. And I'm going to try to head over to the west side. If I took a left, that gives me Laurel Hill. I have comprehensive coverage of Laurel Hill. Again, this isn't a commercial for my channel, but I'm just stating facts. If somebody's interested in Laurel Hill, I cover every single road up there. Back roads, schools, churches, everything. Going back through, down city, I'm on Water Street. Very prominent street in Norwich. As I try to work my way over to cut through the west side a little bit. I'd like to do a little bit of driving around the west side. The drizzle factor, we're adding to the record of me saying the word drizzle or drizzling. The drizzle factor has now diminished significantly, but those situations, in my experience, can change literally from moment to moment. But right now, as we speak, we're at this red light. It is 2:49 p.m. I'm in the dead heart of Norwich, Connecticut. And we seem to be doing okay with the moisture. Although I do look to the left, and it does seem a little bit more intense over there. Let's go over the Thomas F. Sweeney Memorial Bridge, and we're on that bridge right now. Technically, I'm on West Side Boulevard, but that's going to really quickly turn into West Main. Now we're on West Main Street. First Baptist Church to my right. Very historic church. A lot of businesses on this strip. This West Main Street strip. All the Right Moves Dance Center. I don't know if it's still operational. Former Lincoln Inn to my right. There's a sign. Professional. Now they're talking about doing roundabouts, big ones, rotaries in Norwich, and one of them would be right where that green light is. They would eliminate that green light. They put a big rotary in there. And the businesses to my right would be gone. Taken by, I don't know, eminent domain or just through negotiations with the current ownership. So here's West Main Street. The drizzle is kicking back up again. And it kind of looks more intense straight ahead as far as the cloud. Actually, let me go up Osgood Street for a second here. Because I want to hit Dunham Street. I want to point towards... Take another look at the Colonial Car Wash. The former Colonial Car Wash burned to the ground a few days ago. Now there's the back of St. Peter and Paul's Church right there. Again, I have on the ground walking coverage of St. Peter and Paul's Church, where I walk all around the church, and also the former baseball fields, the entire grounds. I mean, I don't miss anything. I'm going through brush. There's a little pond back there. If you ever went there years ago, it's all still there, but it's overgrown and everything. But to the right is the parking lot, St. Peter and Paul's Church. I'm on Elizabeth Street right now. Wow. Big, huge truck down there making a turn onto Elizabeth Street. So that's carrying some heavy equipment. So we'll get off Elizabeth. We'll jump onto Dunham. And if we get lucky at the end of Dunham, I'll hit that red light and we'll be able to get another view of that colonial. When I say burned to the ground, I mean there is cinder block construction, but all the wood and the contents were burned and gone and just eliminated through that fire. So it's straight ahead. The light is green as I turn ever so slightly right there. Colonial cars burned. There used to be a roof up there. You can see the burned out soot around the top there. So we're back on West Main Street. And it's 2:54 p.m. I'm going to drive around a little bit longer. The drizzle has stopped. But at some point here I'm going to have to shut things down because I do have something that is going to take time for me to achieve later on. That's going to require a couple of hours of my time, so I can't drive around for an indefinite period of time. I happen to be on New London Turnpike at the moment. We just passed Three Rivers back there to my left. I have a walking tour of that campus. Let me take a left. I'll go up Melrose Park. Let's take a cruise around Melrose Park. It's a beautiful neighborhood. All the houses, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, were built for veterans. A lot of them are duplexes. Some of them are single family, kind of cape. But they're, I believe they were built for the soldiers coming home from the war. I could be mistaken. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. But I think I'm accurate with that information. And it's kind of a cul-de-sac. It ends up here, and you turn around right here. As we get kind of a view of the whole neighborhood from up here. There's a center, kind of a section over there where I've seen kids playing football and throwing baseballs and soccer. Perfect area to ride your bike, maybe do some skateboarding. And we're going to take a left onto New London Turnpike. out of Melrose Park. Malherba's farm to the left. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Vegetables, fruit, plants, corn. All fresh grown. People are golfing right now. That's the golf course, Norwich. 18-hole golf course. Perfect day for golf if it doesn't rain. And we've slowed down to, 25 miles per hour. That's the speed limit. I would venture a guess that the vast majority of people rarely go 25 miles per hour. I mean, rarely. For example, back there I was doing 31 miles per hour. That seemed to be a more comfortable speed, personally, for my taste on this road. Car in front of me has Georgia license plates on it. Okay, if I kept going straight, that would bring me into the Mohegan Sun, which, by the way, I've done a drive around there. But I'm going to take a left once this red light turns green. I don't know if I get an arrow here. I hope I do. If not, then I'm going to have to wait it out. Everybody seems to be at a standstill. Okay, somebody pushed the walk button, and it's counting down, 17, 16. Got some motorcycle folks to my right. And that's a long walk countdown, due to the fact that it's kind of a major road with a lot of traffic, and it's a very wide street. So we're on West Thames Street right now. And I'm going to start working my way back to where I started the video. I mean, I think I'm going to take a stab at it. I've been going probably an hour and a half so far on a really comprehensive drive around Norwich, Connecticut. I mean, not when I say comprehensive, I don't mean this little side streets and all that. I'm talking about just the general tenor of the town, the big Main Street, down city, West Main Street, West Thames Street, Central Avenue, you know, parts of Harlan Road, you know, big throughways and popular sections of roads that cut through the heart of areas in Norwich, Connecticut. But I'm going to wind my way back to... I started this thing on West Town Street, so I'm going to try to go full circle and end off up at that the part where I started recording. Let's see if I can make it back there before it rains. Shipping Street to my right. It's 3:03 p.m. Engine number 6 Pizza, they're open. Gentleman in front of me is pulling right in there, I think. No, he's pulling up Gear Avenue. By the way, I have full coverage where I drive around Gear Avenue and all the streets that are connected to this west side on my YouTube channel right now. If you search for it, you'll find it. I mean, I make zero money off the channel. That's not my goal. This isn't a promotional commercial or anything like that. I'm simply trying to help people to find videos that I've done that would be of interest to them. And I've done it many times before, like I said earlier, via email or text, but sometimes if I give a presentation like this, somebody might hear this and go, fantastic. Let me go to the search section and type in the East Side. And you will be rewarded with a couple, at least 2, maybe more, videos where I cover every street on the east side of Norwich. Norwich Police Department to my right. American Ambulance to the left. Wow. They're pulling that building down. There's another big demolition project. I mean, it's Sunday. They're not working today, but although they were working, look at that right there. On the right-hand side of that building, you can Marina Towers. That's coming down. It's not going to be there a few more days, and that's another one. It's going to be a race from the planet. Yeah, they'll go up Church Street. We got another red light. So the city of Norwich, the heart of Down City, is, if I took a right, if I go straight, that brings me up to Church Street. The Terraces are the name of the apartments on Church Street. They're award-winning. They were in ill repair many, many years ago, and they were purchased by a company, I believe, and now they're called the Terraces. But they won a lot of awards for the restoration that they did. Straight ahead, those beautiful brick buildings right there, and every building to the left, they're all apartments, beautiful apartments. I've been in them, not all of them, but several, and they are absolutely gorgeous, and they deserve the awards, multiple award-winning properties. All right, so this is going to bring us to... Eventually I'll work my way over to Broadway. United Congregational Church right in front of us. City Hall to the left. We're on Broadway right now. Broadway in Norwich, Connecticut. As we cruise back towards Norwich town, where we started this video, I think I'm going to end off at the Grange. Let me get another look at the Grange. We'll see what kind of progress they made in, I think, a little more than an hour and a half. I'm guessing it's substantial progress because they had very heavy machinery and they were operating at a decent pace. So we'll get another look at that. I'll lock in on that. And that's where I'll shut down the proceedings. There's the new roof on Park Congregational Church to our right. Again, Chelsea Parade. So this is part of the full circle situation. You know, yesterday I didn't do drive. I was driving around on the highway, and I noticed we had Canadian smoke. There's big fires apparently up in Quebec and Canada, you know, that were sweeping down. The weather patterns somehow brought that smoke down to New England, and specifically in my case yesterday, Connecticut, you know, southeastern Connecticut. But it marks one of the densest days of smoke. We've had worse. A couple of years ago, there were a few days that were worse than what I saw yesterday. But that was definitely the worst I've seen since then. Since that really terrible situation we had 2 years ago. So this is Washington Street. Bacchus Hospital on my left. This is going to be a long video for, you know, me sticking to one town, Norwich. Lately I've been kind of driving out to Lisbon or Griswold or Canterbury, Plainfield, New London, Groton. I've done Nyack, so I've been kind of cruising out to different areas. I haven't done a straight up Norwich one in a while. And like I said, with the beautiful overcast conditions, I say beautiful for video. My preferred conditions for video. Like right now, I consider this as flawless as it gets for any kind of video outdoors, especially this type right here. No shadows. Look at the even lighting. It's all perfect. Except for our drizzle and rain situation that we got back there. I think this video is going to be okay. And one of the more lengthy, comprehensive sweeps around the major roads of Norwich, Connecticut. But we're going to zip back a little bit over here to the... See if I can get some different views of that Grange. Former Grange, the beautiful, you know, historically significant building that was a school, and farmers had festivals or, you know, meetings, and the building was utilized for decades, decade after decade. So many thousands of people utilized that building over the years. It was torn down 2 days ago. In one day. It took 1 day to take it down. The structure was sound, don't worry. But it took 1 day to tear that historic building down. We're approaching it now. And let me see, I'm going to try to pull in. I'll pull into Shell gas station in a minute and try to line up. Get another view of that building. But that historic building was erased from the planet in, if it's all gone now. I don't see much left, maybe a few bricks. In one day it was knocked down. The next day they took a lot of the debris away. Today is day 3 of removing the debris. So all the history and everything that moved through that beautiful building was erased in a matter of a couple of days. And it's going to be replaced by a Dunkin'. You know, Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin'. I mean, I think it's going to be just a drive-through. There it is. They're still working on it. Right there in front of us would have been the Grange. Right there. Let me focus in a little bit right here. Get some footage. I'm going to drive around. Somebody's beeping at me. I'm going to drive around. See if I can get a different angle. Guys are working as we speak. Let me see if it's worth. Now I'm going to go all the way around the back to the back of the bowling alley and get another view. And we'll terminate the video at that point. But I do want to lock in, just grab some footage. It's kind of hard. I have a video where I walked around the day it was taken down. But there was still, you breathe in a lot of that. I don't know, I don't know what dust or whatever. It's not pleasant at all. This is the back of the bowling alley in Norwich town. But it was not pleasant at all. I did the video, but to be there now with all that dust and everything, I'm pretty sure that's hazardous to breathe for any extended period of time, or at all for that matter. Definitely not recommended. So when we come around this corner, we're going to be able to see it in the distance. I'll get up to it as close as I can. Okay, let me figure this out. Let me get to this thing. I mean, I can't block. There's kind of a wide view. Boy, they're almost done. I mean, there's the staircase up front. To the left, you can see that big cement. I don't know how it looks to you on that wide-angle lens, but that's the main staircase that led into the Grange for many, many, many decades. Since the 1800s. I'm not sure the date it was built. Could be the 30s, 1839 or whatever. It's a very old structure that is now gone. I'm just absorbing some historic footage right now as we get this wide view. I want to see if that... Let me shift this thing into park. Let me see if that heavy machinery picks up anymore. And it's 3:17 right now. Sunday, July 27th, 3:17 p.m. as we linger on this former side of the Grange. I'm going to pull right up to it. I was kind of hoping that guy would start to grab some of the material, the brick and everything that's been torn down, so I could get up close. But they just seem to be conversing and trying to figure out what to do. I'll give it another maybe another few seconds, and then if nothing happens, I'll just pull up as close as I can, then I'll end the video. Let me see if I can get closer. I mean, I gotta be mindful of traffic. Right there's a good, about as close as I can get. Let me get up to this fence. Right there is where the Grange used to be. So we've come full circle. I'm going to come down here and do another walk around this thing when it's 100% out of here, but we pretty much started the video right around this area. And that's where I'm going to end it momentarily. I got to pull out here. I have cars coming from my left and cars coming from my right. So as soon as I get an opening, I'm going to pull out there and this video will be over. And that's it. That's the end of the video.